They are cooking
with gas.
DeAndre Swift. Do I even need to have a conversation about DeAndre Swift and what he's doing in the NFL right now? 2 games into the year, they are dominating the line of scrimmage. It is a pain in the ass team to game plan for, and they don't even have Jameson Williams available yet. Hawkinson's playing like a turd. Every opposing team, I promise you, start their week. Hey guys, all right, we got Detroit this week. And then they say, you see this guy number 14 right here? That guy is a problem. I don't ever want to see us not having at least 2 people guarding this individual. Teams are game planning for this guy, and he's still beating him. Jeff, the Lions have the 4th highest touchdown percentage in terms of touchdown drive percentage, in the NFL.
It's crazy.
They are cooking
with gas
under Ben Johnson. And we talked about it going into the season. I don't think people quite understood just how good it would be this early on. But I'm not really surprised by the production. I wish I could tell you I was surprised, but I'm really not. I knew what you had in the offensive coordinator. I think we talked ad nauseum over this. Confidence in the offensive coordinator. Jared Goff to have a much better season going into year 2.
The pieces around him.
Right? Last year, he shows up to camp. He had just gotten dumped by his girlfriend, basically. They shipped him off with 2 first-round picks. We don't want you anymore. Comes here. The team is not the best roster. Not many weapons. They suck. They don't know how to use Amon-Ra St. Brown for the first half of the season, clearly. And it's Anthony Lynn. It's a disaster. They start off 0-8. Everything is awful.
Yeah,
nagging injuries. The O-line is hurt. I can go on and on. And then he ends the season on a good stretch in the last 6 games that he played. 3-3. Or excuse me, the last 4 games he played, he was 3-1 as a starter. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good from him. Top 3 passer rating in the NFL during that stretch. And he's going into this year now with more weapons. A healthier offensive line-ish. A healthy backfield with DeAndre Swift, which really opens up the whole field for him. And then St. Brown emerging as a young star in this league. You have DJ Chark now, Josh Reynolds, who he trusts, and of course an OC who believes in him and will put him in a position to succeed. I am not surprised at all. I'm really not.
No.
This is what you expected going into the year. The question we had was, well, what's the defense going to be doing? And what kind of position is the defense going to be putting the offense in? If this offense can play ahead, you saw what happened against Washington. That was tough for them.
Right.
Oh, is this offense going to play from behind? You saw what happened against Philly. Quite the opposite. So it's really about, can they jump out to an early lead? Can they continue to be efficient? And can the defense make a stop or 2? And so far, you've seen both ends of the spectrum. But the offense, Jeff, it's phenomenal.
No, I mean, we knew they'd be efficient. We had that discussion for weeks before the season. More explosive, more creative. And I think a byproduct of that is the efficiency, which you're seeing. I mean, the 4th highest touchdown drive percentage in the NFL. They're converting in the red zone. And you saw it through game 1 and game 2. They were efficient. Now, there's this, against the Commanders, the 4th down call they went for, I had no problem with that. They didn't end up getting it. And I think they still left a lot of points out on the field. So it's crazy to think about. And that's without TJ Hawkinson and DJ Chark playing to the level we expect them to be playing at. Really, the main concern for me is injuries, if this offense can stay healthy. But even that, 3 offensive linemen out against the Commanders, and you can run the ball effectively. You can protect Jared Goff. Honestly, I think it speaks to the offense buying in to Ben Johnson. And I love what Dan's been preaching, Ben's been preaching, that next man up mentality, which you've been seeing on display so far. That's what good teams do, honestly. You miss a piece or 2 on your offense, guys step up, you still find a way to play well. They battle adversity. That's what they've been doing. So no complaints about Ben Johnson. I think with Jared Goff, we've talked about this. Say what you want about Jared. You can win with Jared Goff. You can win games with him. You can have an efficient offense with him as long as, again, good coaching, pieces around him, and he has both those things. So I want to act like I'm surprised, but I'm really not. If you give a guy like Jared great coaching and you give him the pieces that has been given, no Jameson Williams yet, which is crazy to think about too. That's going to be another piece of this offense to be able to open things up. But overall, I think it just honestly speaks to what Ben Johnson's been preaching to this offense and their ability. They've all bought in, and now it's just about keeping up and being consistent. And we'll see. They're one of the highest scoring offenses right now. I believe they scored the most touchdowns in the NFL. Touchdowns.
Yep, 9.
Because Bills and Chiefs they've had pick sixes. The Lions haven't had that. But again, they're efficient at them. And a lot of that, again, has to do with Ben Johnson. Because if you know, you know. Anthony Lynn last year, I get it. It was Jared Goff's first year with the Detroit Lions, but you could tell that offense needed a lot of work. And they don't have too many more pieces. They have DJ Chark, of course, but still, they missed 3 offensive linemen last game, and the offense still looked good.
Where do you think the Lions rank in terms of total yards in the NFL?
What are they? Total yards.
Total yards per game. To
Say
give you
top 3.
To give you context, just so you get a number, leading the league is the Eagles with 470 yards a game.
Yeah, because what they do on the ground too.
Miami 427 a game. Buffalo 413. What do you think the Lions are?
I'll say top 5.
All right, well, you're absolutely right. On the money, number 4.
Oh,
with 406 yards per game in total offense.
crazy.
More than the Chiefs, more than the Bucks, more than every other team outside of Miami, Buffalo, and Philly. And you go to the rushing. What teams lead the NFL in rushing? Take a guess. Top 3 teams. Who are they?
I'd say the Eagles are up there.
Okay.
I would say it's another team that's been pounding the ball. Maybe the Browns.
Jeff, I love you. This is why I love doing the show with you. Cleveland, number 1 at 200 yards a game. Philly, number 2 at 189. Number 3 coming in hot. The Detroit Lions at 186 yards per game.
And that's with the limited DeAndre last game.
3rd in rushing yards per game. 4th in total yards per game in the NFL. This is not an accident. This isn't the defense is forcing turnovers. You get a short field, you get some points up, you're scoring a ton.
Right.
This is a team that is moving the ball up and down the field almost at will. You really take out that first quarter and a half from the Philly game to start the season. I mean, they've been on it. The first drive was really good. They really stumbled for the rest of the half. And then this 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, they found their stride. They got 7 in the 3rd. They got 14 in the 4th. The rest is history.
That's all you can ask
they
for.
did lose the game, but the rest is history. They did a hell of a job, I think, at least recovering to the best of their abilities. Coaching did not help them in week 1, but week 2, coaching was definitely there. The backups definitely helped out. They stepped in and did a hell of a job. That's absolutely a tribute to the coaching. Jared Goff played a hell of a game. His 6th career game with 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, by the way. Tying, I believe, Steve Young and Dan Marino.
Correct. I saw that stat.
That is ridiculous. DeAndre Swift. Do I even need to have a conversation about DeAndre Swift and what he's doing in the NFL right now? We talked about 1,000 and 1,000. I'll playfully joke. This is a thing. Now, do I think the receiving is doable?
That's the
I
tough
don't.
part, yeah.
But you're looking at a 1,300-yard back, 1,400-yard back
if
right now.
If he's healthy and he gets, you have to worry about health because last game he only got 5 carries. Now he made the most of those 5 carries. He did. But that's
He's
the most
averaging
impressive
10
part,
yards a carry
which
right
is
now.
ridiculous. Now if he can get more carries, not saying you got to give him 25 carries, but he can easily be an 1,200-yard rusher. There's no doubt.
You know, we're giving this offense a lot of credit for the way they're throwing the football, moving the ball downfield.
Right.
But it all starts with the run game.
Always.
And what Ben Johnson has been able to do, he's really revamped the way the Lions run the football. Multiple tight end sets. Tight end sets with offensive linemen and additional offensive linemen. And what they're doing essentially, and you know what, we're going to get film for this tomorrow. We're going to break it down together. But what's happening right now, Jeff, is the Lions are creating holes. And I'm not talking, the running backs really got to make it work, and if it does, it's good. They are parting the sea right now at the line of scrimmage. It is unbelievable. And it starts with what? Run block scheme.
Spreading
All it is, it's power runs.
Yeah.
Pulling the guards. The way they pull the guards, they double team so effectively. And the easiest way for a play to get blown up is if you miss a double team or somebody misses a block. 2 games into the year, they are dominating the line of scrimmage. And it's because of their run scheme. It's phenomenal.
And then the minute
I wish I could sit here and have a different conversation and tell you, look, they got to work on the run game. They got to do this better. I would love to do that. I can't. This offense, outside of, again, a quarter and a half, has been exceptional, have had their way with opposing defenses, have protected Jared Goff pretty damn well, and have run the football at a level you didn't even expect. Right. 186 a game, a healthy DeAndre Swift. My goodness, Jeff.
The most impressive thing to me is to be able to run the football and then the following week be able to run the football. Like there's Ben Johnson in his scheming, and that's the thing you notice too. They have to play with Amon-Ra St. Brown in the end around. Like that was probably in a formation where Washington's thinking they're going to run the ball. Boom.
Well, how many times did they motion
And
Amon-Ra?
they didn't give it to him.
He set that up, man.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
It is. I'm going to go back and find out the exact number of times they ran that set for them to set it up in that exact moment when they used it. It was the perfect play call. Washington had just scored. They're coming on the field, ready for a conventional, hand it off, and let's see what's going to happen. They pull the end around. St. Brown goes 50-plus yards down the field. We all know the rest. That is...
But it's keeping defenses guessing. That's a good OC. That's a good OC.
There's that. There is... Let's call it what it is. The way they are run blocking at this point to start the year is nothing short of... It's beyond impressive. It's unbelievable. It's everything you could have dreamed of when you hired Ben Johnson. And again, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have pulled my hair out had the Lions ever considered hiring internally. And suddenly, Dan Campbell gets hired. Granted, Ben Johnson was here before Dan, but you start to hear the name, right? After the Anthony Lynn decision. Well, there's this young guy in the building. He's really coming up helping with play calling. He's really helping out with planning for the game. Okay, cool. I like this name, Ben Johnson. Let's learn more about him. Let's take a deeper dive. Oh, okay, wait. Zach Taylor tried to hire him. Oh, wait. He comes from this tree. Whoa. There's something there. Right. The conversation happens on the show. We start talking more about Ben Johnson. He should be the OC. I mean, this is, as much as I'd love to sit here and literally tell you to your face, hey, Jeff, 100% this is what I expected out of Ben Johnson, I'd be lying. I would be. Not this level of production.
No.
With this, again, it is a pain in the ass team to game plan for, and they don't even have Jameson Williams available yet. Hawkinson's playing like a turd. But he has them clicking. And it starts really at the fundamental level at the line of scrimmage.
And that's
coaching.
Look at Kyle Shanahan. Like, imagine facing Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers, and you know they're going to run the football at him, and they still run the football, and they're able to run it. Like, that's, I think, to me, that's how I identify good OCs or good coaches offensively is if a team knows what you're going to do, and you still have success doing it, I think that tells a lot about you and your knowledge of the game.
When you're able to run the ball the way the Lions are able to, right? You put out extra tight ends. You put out the extra offensive linemen. Right. That also sets up, I don't know, play action, man.
Just
who's
constantly on your toes.
Who benefits from it, right? Because now you're sucking in the safeties. You're sucking in these linebackers.
Outside receivers and Jared as well.
And so far, it's really been Amon-Ra St. Brown benefiting a lot.
Yeah.
Josh Reynolds at times too. But St. Brown... Guys, I don't want to hear that, oh, the league hasn't adjusted for him yet, Adam. No, every opposing team, I promise you, start their week. Hey, guys, all right, we got Detroit this week. Here's what we need to understand. If we lose at the line of scrimmage, we are done for. That's the first thing you say as a defensive coordinator. Interior, on the edge, we need to be perfect. This is what the Lions like to do. This is how they pull their guards. This is the sets they run, yada, yada, yada. They get into all of that. And then they say, you see this guy number 14 right here? That guy is a problem. I don't ever want to see us not having at least two people guarding this individual. I'll live with DJ Chark. I will live with Josh Reynolds. I will live with Hawkinson. But don't you dare let this guy run for 70 yards on us and catch another 115 and 2 touchdowns. Don't we dare line you up in the end zone, or excuse me, in the red zone, one-on-one against this guy. Because you can't guard him. Because clearly they couldn't guard him in Washington, and clearly they couldn't guard him against Philly. So who the hell are we? Teams are game planning for this guy, and he's still beating them. Because of his individual brilliance, because of the scheme, because of the amazing game planning by Ben Johnson and company.
The rapport with him and Jared.
The rapport with Jared Goff. Everything is clicking right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to hear the excuses of, oh, well, St. Brown, no one's adjusting to him yet. I promise you, he was circled on that bulletin board alongside DeAndre Swift. Those are the two X-factor players on offense right now. And that's how it'll be for the rest of the year. And we haven't even seen Jameson Williams at the field, which is, I find, insane.
And you can't even pull they haven't really played. They played two teams that are pretty good defensively, especially that pretty good secondary. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's not like they play the Tennessee Titans, where you have Stephon Diggs running around like a madman and getting open. He's playing some tough teams defensively, and he's still getting open. So give credit where it's due.